Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about Electron, and later we will use it and we will try to create a desktop application. So Electron is the framework which used to build a desktop application only using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It uses Chromium and Node.js to create a cross-platform apps that works on Windows, macOS and Linux. So to create a desktop application in Electron, we should only have a basic knowledge of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It not necessary we have to be in advance in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. We should only know some basic functionality like how to write a function in JavaScript, okay, and what are the different type of document load methods, and we only need what are the selectors and how to write a small HTML code, okay. So without any delay, so let's start creating our first application using Electron. Okay, so first of all I'm going to make a folder. I can name it any folder name, but I'm using Electron app as a folder name, and I'm going to, sorry, it already exists, let me remove that Electron app, and let's create one Electron app and go to this folder Electron app. So this right now we have nothing in this folder. I'm also using a VS Code, so I'm opening this folder in VS Code. So in first of all we have to initialize a npm package here, so I'm using npm init. So if you see any command, any error like npm not identified, command is not identified, it means you do not have installed node in your system. So first of all you have to go and install a node in your system, okay. So I'm assuming that you already have installed, and after that we are creating this node application, okay. So we can also use -y to default setting, but I want to explain something, so I'm not going to use -y like for default settings. So I'm going to provide some of the important setting. I will try to explain it. The first setting it asked is about the package name. So package name is like how you're going to identify the your application, okay. And the best practices is this package name should always be in small cases, and we should not use a space in if we have a multiple words. So like if we have an Electron app, then we cannot use Electron in space and app, okay. So we have to use hyphen to combine it, okay. So I'm using the default package, I'm not going to change it. And the second is version, we can skip the description, we can also skip. If you want, you can also give the description. Entry point, yes, the main important thing here is instead of index.js as an entry point, we should change this to main.js as an entry point, okay. Text command we can leave it. Git repository is not required. Keywords, let's add some keywords here. Electron, HTML, CSS, okay. Author we can give, and I'm not using any license, but let's keep it MIT. And this is the how our packet.json file will be look, okay. So whenever we create npm in it, so a file will be created named as packet.json. So this will be the setting which will be there, okay. So I'm just using s. So now see in our code editor, we have Electron app, version, description I missed, okay, and main.js as entry point. Keywords I have Electron, HTML, CSS, okay, author and license MIT, okay. So I'm going to first of all we have to install a div dependency Electron, and we also have to write a script. So I'm just using a start script, and I'm writing Electron dot, okay. So now if I run npm start, then it should throw an error because we do not have created any entry point yet. So it should be it does not exist, okay. Please verify that packet.json has a valid main entry point, okay. So it means we have to first create a main.js file. So I'm going back to our VS Code and I'm making a file main.js. Okay, and since we also need to write HTML code, so I'm also going to make an file inside the pages folder, and this should be a name index.html. Okay, and in index.html I am using a VS Code, so I will install some of the snippets. So by using that we can easily generate our HTML code, and I'm giving the title Electron app. Okay, so right now I'm just creating a basic HTML, writing a very basic HTML code in which we have we are going to list all of the versions of the tools we are using, like what is the version of Node, Chromium and Electron which I'm using. Okay, so for that first I'm like let's see, show a welcome message. So, sample Electron app. Okay, and I'm going to also create a list, sorry, li, and 3 times a list. I'm going to show the first one is Node and the second one is Chromium or Chrome, and the third one is Electron itself. Okay, and also I have to write a version. So for version I will write the version using JavaScript. It should not be an hard-coded value, so I'm using a div creating a div selector, ID selector, and we will change the value of it later. No, and similarly I'm also going to write for Chrome, and similarly for Electron. Okay, so this is a very basic HTML code which I have written. Okay, so let's first go to our main.js file and start writing code related to Electron. Okay, we first need to import app from Electron. Okay, sorry, it should not be a from, it should be a, we cannot use a ES6 imports here. We have to use a common JS import and export. Okay, and when our app is ready, so there are some method available in Electron. The first method is when ready. So whenever when an application app is ready, then we are going to perform some action. Okay, so for right now I'm just making it blank, I'm not writing anything. Okay, now we have to create a window like VS Code window we are seeing here. So we have to create a window using our HTML file. Okay, so to create a window we have to import a browser window, and we also create a method. We should create a method, create window method. You can use any name here. So it should be const, const, const. Okay, and I'm writing ES6 syntax here. So first of all we have to create a constructor, a browser window instance here. So I'm giving it name as a win, and it should be equals to new browser window, and we also have to pass some basic configuration here. So first configuration is width. What is the width of what should be a width of your windows? So I'm just writing it as a let's suppose I'm writing 900, and what will be the height? Height should also be a let's suppose 800. Okay, so this is the height and width of our window. And when we created this window, so then we have to pass it some configuration to use our index.html to be rendered on this window. So I'm going to use win dot load file, and I'm also passing here where to find this our HTML code, index.html. This is the pages. Inside pages we have index.html. Okay, so we are loading from the local, and if you want to load directly from the URL, so there is another method, load from URL, and you can use that. But right now I'm using HTML, local HTML file here. Okay, and when our application app is ready, so I'm going to call this method. I'm going to call this method, and this will, I hope so, this will, let's see what happens when we start the application. Okay, see, so this has been started, but I'm seeing some error, so let me check what error is that, and we will see. Failed to load file electron app slash pages. I think there is some typo here. Okay, so this is the mistake, so let me close this one and rerun it again. Okay, see, we have Node, Chromium, and Electron. This index.html. This node, the version is not showing here. We will show the version later with using a script. Okay, so since I'm using a Mac, so when I close the window, okay, when I close the window, application automatically closes. But for Linux and Windows OS, this will not be in as expected. So to do so, we will also have to follow some life cycle method of the app. Okay, and in that we will identify when window all closed event, and when all window closed, then we will close our application. Okay, so first of all we have to identify the operating system, which operating system we are using. Okay, so process, we are doing process, and dot platform, and this should not be equal to Darwin. Okay, so in case of Darwin, it will automatically closed, but if it is not a Darwin, then we have to quit our application, our window. So there is a method app.quit, and we will call it. Okay, so this is only for related to Ubuntu, Linux, Windows. Okay, not related to Mac OS. Okay, so currently we have one more problem here. And that problem is that let me show it you. npm start. Okay, so now we have this npm start. We created this window has been opened, but when I close this window, running, okay, you can see in our launcher we have this an Electron, and when you click on this Electron, nothing has happened. Okay, but our application is running. So we are going to write some code. Already have application running, and we click on the app icon which is shown in the launcher, then it should open the reopen our window. Okay, so for that I'm going to use the when ready. Here I'm going to write app dot on activate. When our app is activated, then in that case, if our application is not running, if browser window dot get all windows, okay, get all windows length is equals to 0, it means our application is our app is running but window is not open. So in that case we have to write create window. Okay, so now let's see what happened here. Let me close this and rerun the application. npm start. Okay, so now when I close this and go to the launcher and click on this Electron, then automatically one browser window is opened. Okay, so only remaining thing is right now we have to show the version of the library and frameworks we are using. So like the version of Node, and version of the Chrome, and the version of our Electron application. Okay, So for that we need something where we can access our global configurations like DOM, Windows, okay, node access of the Node.js environment as well. Okay, so for that we have to create a load script, preload script, and which will be a normal JS file, but we will register that in our browser window constructor. Okay, so that we will have an access of the global and Node.js environment here. Okay, so let's go start and create a script. I am going to name it a preload.js. You can give any name here. Okay, and the first statement will be a window and dot, and I'm going to write an event listener here, and this event listener is DOM content loaded. DOM content loaded, it means but whenever document content is fully loaded, then I'm going to trigger some action. Okay, I'm going to perform some action. So right now I'm not going to do anything. I'm just writing a script here. Okay, and then I'm going to register this script in our browser window. Okay, so for that we have to, there is a one more configuration here name as web preferences, and in this web preferences I am going to register this one preload, and in preload we have to give the path where our preload script is. Okay, so our for right now our preload script is in beside our main.js file. Going to use const path. It should be imported from path. Okay, and in path here I'm going to write path dot join and dir name and preload.js. Okay, so this will give the whole path. Let me explain it for you. So dirnm is point to the path string of the current running script. Means it will return as the path of the main.js file. Okay, and in main.js file I'm writing preload.js. So we have to combine this one. Okay, so for that I'm using path.join. Okay, so this is it. Let me go and write some more code. If you want, we can have some console.log here. I'm using script here, console.log. Our content has been loaded. So I'm just writing this script. It is loaded, and I'm going to write some code here. So it will be a const and dependency of, and we have going to write some of our dependency like node and Chrome and electron. Okay, so these are our dependency, and in our dependency we have to identify the version, and in that, and then later we will replace our id. We will write a content inside our using this document dot get element by id. We will find this div element, and then we will write the version of that. Okay, so so I'm using node, Chrome and Electron. So this will be the same here, node, Chrome and Electron. Okay, so we have to first identify the version of what is the version of the dependency we are using. Okay, so we will get that version of our dependency using our process itself. So const let me check current version, and we will have a process dot versions, and we will pass here our dependency. Okay, so dependency will be here, dependency. Okay, so this will be the version, and we also have to find the element where have to append this version. Okay, so document dot get element by id, and our dependency and the id is same, so selector is dependency itself, and when we will find this element, then I'm just only using if we have element. Okay, in case of we have element, then element inner text you can use, we can use inner HTML as well. Inner text is equals to the current version. Okay, so let me run this application. Let's see what happened here. Okay, see, we have a node and its version, chromium and its version, and electron and its version. In the documentation of the electron, they have created a separate method here, and they call it as a replace text. And replace text, we will have a selector, and the text we are going to write. And okay, and this code, this whole code has been moved to here. Okay, but first of all we need this dependency. Actually this selector is selector, and if we have element, then okay, and we will have text. In case of text, will have a version. Okay, so let me call this like this one, replace text, and in replace text we will pass this dependency and this current version. So let me start it again. See, same, and we can further optimize this one, and we can pass process dot dependency here. Okay, and we don't need this one. Let me check once again, npm start. Okay, finally it is working as expected. Okay, yeah, so this is the final code where we have created a small application, and we have given created a list, and we have given the version and the dependency and its version. Okay, so let me also write some HTML CSS code here to make it look better. Okay, I'm just closing everything, and we will just open a main.js file here, and I'm going to create one more file. It should be a main.css, and here right now I'm not writing anything. Let me link this one. So link, and we will have CSS, and this should be a name as main.css. Okay, these are in the same folder, so we don't need. So I'm also, let me open this using a open with live server. See, so just for testing purpose, I'm just going to write version 1, version 2, and version 3. Okay, so after adding some CSS, I will remove this 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let me fix this HTML. So I'm just going to make a container here first of all for everything, container, and inside container I'm just going to move everything, and a sample React application, and I'm also going to create, we are using, and in strong, and I'm just going to write a, let me just copy this one and repeat it everywhere here. Okay, and move this strong here, electron, chromium, and node here, sorry, should be here. Okay, and instead of div, I'm going to use a span and span. Okay, so let me first write our CSS, so make it much better. In display, it should be display flex, and flex direction, Next will column, justify content should be center, and align item not required, but I'm just going to give it align item center. Okay, this is looking good. And let me also remove the default margin of the body and head. Body and HTML, the margin will be 0 and the padding will be 0. Okay, and for our list I'm going to make it list style none, and display flex. Okay, okay, and for real I'm just going to give margin 10 px, and similarly padding px. See, so this is looking good. I'm just going to add one more thing here. Okay, now I'm just going to remove this 1, 2 and 3, and I'm going to start our application, and let's see how it looks in Electron browser window. npm start. This look as here. Okay, see, it's very simple. Like if you have a knowledge of HTML and CSS, you can create a small application using HTML, CSS or JavaScript, and you can directly use that to create our application for our desktop application. Okay, and later I will also explain, I will add more functionality in this small application. So see you in next video. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you like the video, so please hit the like button.